Hey y'all, welcome to Back Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. I'm Roger and I'm happy to have y'all here with us today watching this video.
Yeah. Porch boards sway in a slow rhythm. Got the screen door sighing a low hum. That old wood stove is cooking something good. Smell of bacon filling up the neighborhood.
So question for you. Have you ever cooked a meal for like supper, dinner, whatever you want to call it, and you did mashed potatoes, and after everybody was finished eating, you still had a big bowl of mashed potatoes left? Well, that's what happened to me the other day. Is we had some mashed potatoes for our evening meal and had a big bowl of mashed potatoes left over. So what do you do with those leftover mashed potatoes? Well, I'm going to show you today what I do when I have leftover mashed potatoes. We make old-fashioned potato cakes with our leftover mashed potatoes. And guys, these go good with breakfast, with eggs or gravy, biscuits, whatever. They go great with another meal for the next day. But I'm going to show you how to make those homemade potato cakes because they are delicious. So stick with us and we're going to get started on making them here in just a minute. All right, guys. So making potato cakes is something that is just so simple. There's really just nothing to it. So you're going to take your leftover potatoes. Now I've had these out of the refrigerator for a little while, kind of letting them warm up just a little bit so that they weren't just stiff as a board when I took them out. So they're coming back to their kind of creamy consistency. But this is about the consistency that you want your potatoes to be. You don't want them to be runny, but you don't want them to just be, completely dry. So this is about what we want. That looks really good. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add one egg, and I beat that egg. We're going to add that to the potatoes. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add about a half a cup of flour. Now, this is going to be different depending on how many potatoes you've got. This may be around 2 cups of potatoes, something like that. So we're going to do about a half of a cup of flour. But now, like I say, if you've got more potatoes, you're probably going to have to use more. I'm going to not use all of that just yet until I get it stirred up and see exactly what we got. And then we've got some onion. Now, you don't have to put onion in this. You can do it without the onion. This is just the recipe that my family's always used, is to cut up some very, very finely chopped onions. This is about a half of one very small onion, so there's not a lot there. It may look like more than it really is. So we're just going to slide those off in there. And then we're just going to start mixing. And like I say, we're going to see what we've got and whether we need to add the rest of that flour in or not. And you just want to get everything really good and incorporated. Be sure you're stirring from the bottom because you're going to have your flour down there on the bottom. So make sure you get it all stirred in. All right, yeah, I think we're going to be able to use the rest of that flour, so we're going to go ahead and pour that in. And of course, y'all know that we're using our white lily and we're using self-rising flour. Now, if you are a plain flour person, then you can use the plain flour. Just be sure you put you some extra salt and some baking powder in it. So we just about got these mixed up. And I like to leave them sit for just a few minutes and let all the ingredients and everything kind of meld together there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave them sit for just a few minutes and we're going to come back and we're going to start cooking these. All right, guys. So over here in our skillet, we've put some vegetable oil and I put 1 tablespoon of bacon grease in our skillet. And we've got it on about a medium. I'm on 5. And so we're letting this skillet heat up good. And once we get the skillet heated up, we're going to start putting our potato cakes into that hot skillet. One thing tell y'all about back when I was a kid, my mom used to make these potato cakes all the time, and I just loved them. Couldn't wait for her to have leftover mashed potatoes just so we could have potato cakes. And so that's when I started eating them as early as I can remember from when I was a kid. So these are like I say, they are delicious and they're so easy and simple to make. All right, so I think our skillet is just about hot enough. So let's go ahead and drop us a couple in there. Now, there's different ways you can do this part. Now, we've always just spooned them into the skillet, but you can take them and kind of make a patty out of it, but that's really super messy. So I like doing it this way because not as messy as the other way. So you just get you a good big spoonful and you just drop them in there. And you can put as much or as little as you want to on there. Just kind of, you know, mush them around and let them sit there in the grease. Put as many as you can get in your skillet because that's less that you have to fry as the more of them that you got in there. Looks like we're going to probably be able to get 4 in this skillet full right here. And you're going to let these cook for about 4 minutes on each side. And they're already starting to form a crust. So we're going to let these cook for about 4 minutes and then we're going to give them a flip. All right, guys. So while they're cooking, you do want to kind of check when you start seeing the brown around the bottom edges of them. That's when it's going to be time to flip them. So I have flipped these. They are beautiful. Now we're just going to let them cook on this side and get good and golden brown. And we've got a plate over here with a paper towel on it. So when we take them out, we're going to put them on that paper towel and let them drain because, of course, they do soak up a lot of grease, but that with that bacon fat in it is going to make them delicious. All right, guys, so as you can see, these are beautifully brown and they are ready to come out and go on our paper towel over here. So I'm just going to ease them out of the skillet. And you can see they're holding together great. They're not falling apart or anything, but they are going to be so creamy in the center and going to have the crunch on the outside. All right, so guys, that's really all there is to making potato cakes. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up what I've got here. Now the skillet's good and hot right now, so as you're going through your second batch, you want to turn your heat down just a little bit. So I'm gonna go down to a 3 because I don't want them to cook too quickly, but the skillet's already good and hot. And now you may have to also add you a little more oil to the skillet here because the potato cakes will soak up some of the oil that you had in there. So I'm gonna finish cooking them. All right, guys. So here's our second batch, and they are again beautiful. So we're gonna get them out of the skillet, put them over on the paper towel. Now these smell so good with those onions in them. All right, guys, so there's our beautiful plate of potato cakes. They smell delicious, and I can't wait to try one. But before I do, one thing I want to tell you, um, we didn't season our potatoes anymore because they were already seasoned when we had the mashed potatoes themselves. But before you add your egg and your flour to it, go ahead and taste your potatoes again because they've been sitting in the refrigerator overnight. So go ahead and taste them. Make sure they still have enough salt and pepper and everything in them. If they need more, add some more to it. If they don't, you're good to go. All right, so I'm gonna get me one of these on a plate and I'm gonna give it a taste. All right, y'all. So I got me a piece of one on a fork here, and as you can see, they hold together good. So had just the right amount of flour, and the egg kept it held together good. So we're gonna give it a try. Oh, and if y'all hadn't noticed, I did get a haircut. So look, maybe I look better. I don't know. Maybe I look worse. But anyway, we're gonna give this a try. Mm-mm-mm. Guys, those potato cakes are out of this world. I'm telling you, you can taste the potatoes. You can taste that little hint of bacon grease. You can taste the little bit of a onion flavor. And again, remember, you don't have to put the onion in it if you don't want the onion. But again, that's just how we've always made them. And they're crunchy on the outside. They're so soft on the inside. Um, you know, if you've never had a potato cake, y'all need to try this. And if you have had them, you maybe make them different from what I do. Leave me a comment in the comments down below. Tell me how you make them if you do something different. But you do need to make these for your family. Share this recipe with your friends. Gives you something to do with those leftover mashed potatoes other than just throwing them in the garbage. And they're delicious. And you don't want to throw something away that you can take a few minutes and make it and it be this good. Okay, guys, so remember, last thing, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Leave us a comment down below. And we sure do appreciate y'all being here. Oh, and remember, click on that bell button so you get the notifications when we put up new videos. And again, we appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate you watching their videos. And y'all have a great day. We'll see you here in a day or two.